If anyone had told me that we would be ending 2014 with a canon queer couple on Legend of Korra, I would have told them to shut the fuck up. They don't know what they're talking about. But it happened, man. Korrasami. Korrasami is the first lesbian couple on Nick, consisting of two bisexual, let's get it right, guys, they're not lesbians, they're bisexual women, two bisexual women of color who are non-stereotypical, who are alive and happy and going to the spirit world to have an awesome honeymoon of intimacies that they can't say because it's N7. But I am super happy about this, and let me just make it clear that there are going to be people who are like, no, they're just deep friends. Stop. You're deluding yourselves. You're trying to really not see the gay there. But if you've seen Revolutionary Girl Utena, which is like one of the biggest lesbian shows in anime history, everything about that ending scene was totally Amphi and Himemiya. Was totally Amphi, Himemiya, and Utena. Like, that's basically them. The hand holding, I mean, they did the hand holding lesbian Utena love hold, okay? That is as gay as you can get, man, without actually making out. All Xena Gabrielle, like, all of those shows that have had to toe the line, not Utena so much, but like Xena when it came out in the early 90s, you know, it had to very much toe that line of having these two women who were very queer reading but could not be explicitly queer because of broadcasting issues, but slowly got more queer as it went on. I think that they had that kind of relationship. But with this show, I think that because it was airing on Nick.com and because it got pulled and it was his last season and they had a chance to air it, they were like, let's just do it. And they had been building up to it subtly since book 3. There had been a lot of, you know, Asami, Korra togetherness. We found out this season that that was the only person she wrote to when she was going through her therapy and everything like that. So that kind of intimacy had been established. And I think them, you know, realizing they care about each other, going off on their little adventure, like that's awesome. That is something that I never thought would happen. Like, whenever these kind of like big social leaps happen, I'm always shocked. I'm never like, I always think the worst because I've been taught to believe that. And I think that, you know, it even ended the way that, you know, after the last Airbender, it ended with, you know, Aang and Katara. And I understand for some people this is still disappointing, and I understand that because this is a show that has shown very explicit heterosexual love with all the kissing and Makora nastiness and, you know, Bola and his failed relationships. So there's no reason why they could not have really done that, except that we live in a homophobic society and it probably would have never gotten to air, period, if they had actually had the two characters kissing. Because there's definitely that part when they're about to hug and I was like, you guys are fucking with me right now. If you don't have them end together just like going somewhere, I'm gonna like flip out. When I said vacation, I'm like, girl, I know what vacation means. Y'all ain't slick. And I think that Brick definitely know anime, and they know that we, the audience, know a lot of anime and other shows like that. So like anyone who's watched Magical Girl anime or have seen Utena or even Sailor Moon knows exactly what all this subtext means. And I think that for some people to try to take it away from us, tell us like, no, they're just really close friends. They're not really close friends. They're gay. And this is a stepping stone. This is a stepping stone, and it's unfortunate that it has to be so slow when it comes to children's animation. I know Paranorman said it outright. They kind of hinted at it in How to Train Your Dragon 2, and then the voice actor confirmed it. So those things, Craig Ferguson, he confirmed it officially on in an outside interview. So there have been steps forward, but I think that there's so many significant things about this, because this is a major show, whether we have liked it or not. And I am not going to retroactively say that I love Korra, the animated series, because I don't. I like it a lot more than I did when it first aired. I think that book 3 is a great season of TV, and I think the first half of this book was also good. But this was a major television show. It had critical acclaim in the big media stations, and these are two bisexual women, both of them women of color, you know, which is so rare in Western television. Like, it's mostly always going to be like black and white relationship if they do interracial, or, you know, one of them has to be a white person for the most part. I think one of the few exceptions is like Teen Wolf, where Kira and Scott are both people of color. And you know, it's so significant because it says so much and it does so much by doing very little. And I think that also speaks to the state of bisexual representation for people, is that, like, you know, there's so little of it, and when it is there, it can be very sketchy, even to the characters that we endear. Like, I love Bodega from Lost Girl, but she is a promiscuous character. She's a succubus. So as much as I am happy for her to not be slut shamed, it's also nice to see a couple that isn't hypersexual, that isn't all about that being a bisexual couple, because so many people associate bisexuality with being very promiscuous. And so this was a great moment for me. I was watching the episode like intense, because I'll be with you, the first half of the finale was highly underwhelming besides the fight scenes, and then the ending was kind of like eh. But this Korrasami, you know, togetherness scene was really great, and I love how they leveled it with heteronormativities. Like, you get this wedding between Julie and Varric, and then you get like the honeymoon, as people have been saying on Tumblr, with, you know, Korrasami. So that was great. I think that Bright totally knows what they're doing, and it is the only thing that's unfortunate about this scene is that it couldn't have just been a kiss, because it definitely, like, their longing look at the end. Like, I don't look at my female friends like that, just keeping it real. Like, I don't look at, like, girls I like or think they're pretty, I'll stare at them longingly like that. The girls that are my friends, I look at them like my friends. I don't hold hands like this as we go into the spirit world with glowing, you know, lights all around us. Like, that's gay. Let's just I'm not saying that dirty, but like that it's gay. It's gay subtext. It's great. I love it. I'm glad that it was there. As for the rest of the season, I'll talk about that later, but for right now, I think it's bisexual women happily ever after on my Nickelodeon. The Nickelodeon that I grew up with, that gave me so many shows that I love and still think about to this day, has given me a show where I have two female characters walking into the sunset together happily ever after, and no one had to die. Well, there is Hiroshi, but, you know, we'll talk about that later as well. I'm so happy. I'm so stoked, and I will be super pissed if Bright tries to, like, be like, oh, there's just a manipulation. Like, no, man. We know what this is. You know what this is. Don't mess with us, because we are too happy right now. And I know there are gonna be people who ship Korra and are rating on our parade, but I just get, like, you guys got the kisses, you got the hand holding, you got all the explicit signs of attraction between those two characters. We have to deal with this subtext kind of thing that is, you know, upsetting, but at the same time exciting, because it is groundbreaking in its own way. But yeah, y'all got making out like several times, and we got intense eye sex. So don't be hating. We got this. So yeah, Korrasami, 2 thumbs up. I love it. I love it. I love it. It made my 2014, because this has been a shit fuck year. So it really did make my 2014. As for the rest of book 4, I will be talking about that in a separate review, which I will put out most likely tomorrow. By the latest, it'll be Monday. But yeah, Korrasami, it's what the people wanted. Thank you, Santa.